Henceforth, my government will pursue policies to create symmetry between our domestic and foreign policies. Today, we have made that emphatic start, a start which brings a new realism to our foreign policy, and I repeat, which puts our national interests, especially the developmental aspects of those interests, at its center. Today, we have terminated our formal relations with the Republic of China on Taiwan and established formal diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China.
It has been 10 years since the Commonwealth of Dominica and the People's Republic of China signed documents indicative of the start of diplomatic relations between the two countries. These two countries have become much more than diplomatic partners, they have become friends.
According to the agreements signed between the two governments, and after the establishment of diplomatic relations between our two countries, China would provide some sort of aid to Dominica for the benefit of the Dominican people within the capacity of the Chinese government. Today I have the opportunity to see some sites which might be the projects in the future. I think my government is a responsible government and will be determined to make commitment to the agreement signed by the two governments.
This proof of a friendship that goes both ways is evidenced from Capuchin in the north to Scotshead in the south. In 2007, the island's leader, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, told China at a socio-economic summit in Dominica that it should broaden the scope of its relationship with Dominica. This was 3 years after Dominica severed ties with Taiwan, choosing instead to establish a relationship with one of the most progressive economies in the world, the People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China welcomes bilateral relations with nations which respect its One China policy, and in the region, Dominica is among 10 who do. This relationship was birthed at a time when the world's economy had already begun its destructive decline into recession. That call from the nation's leader on December 3, 2007 seemed merely a formality at that time, since the occasion was the Guangdong Dominica Seminar of Socio-Economic Cooperation, an event designed for discussion between the private sector and China on matters of investment. That discussion set the stage for a massive leap forward in dialogues between the People's Republic of China and Dominica. At that event, then Minister for Economic Development Julius Timothy reported macroeconomic stability for Dominica. And he was not the only one. The International Monetary Fund had just pronounced Dominica a top sustainable country in the region and open to economic development programs. In essence, the timing was opportune and Dominica was ripe for investment.
Economic growth has resumed. In the last 4 years, fiscal consolidation and discipline has resulted in the achievement of our primary fiscal objective, which is a primary surplus of 3% of GDP. We have restructured a substantial portion of the national debt. The IMF, in its last review of Dominica's economy, concluded that Dominica has made remarkable progress since the economic crisis of 2001-2002. The objective of economic management now is to build on these gains and to accelerate economic growth and development. A key component of our strategy is to encourage foreign direct investment in the local economy. Dominica offers several advantages for the discerning investor.
The visionary decision back in 2004 to stay close to China seemed at that time something of a premonition.
I read that the province of Guangdong is one of China's richest, with the highest total GDP among all provinces. More than 200 countries in the world have established trade and business relations with Guangdong. Dominica wishes to join the rest of the world and establish a gateway between our peoples.
Since 2004, Dominica and the PRC have come a long way together, and the accomplishments of the partnership are almost innumerable. And as former PRC ambassador to Dominica Wang Zonglai described them, symbols of friendship litter the island. Among them, the new Dominica State College is adored as a beacon, partly because it draws attention on the Stock Farm Hill overlooking the city, and partly because it lights the way forward for the island, providing quality education for all. The construction of the new Dominica State College was undertaken by the Shanghai Construction Corporation. Their task was to erect 5 new buildings on campus while performing the necessary refurbishments on the older usable ones. Needless to say, the property value in that area has since skyrocketed to complement the upgraded amenities. A car park, a food court, and landscaping works were also added. Additional external works were necessary to complete the new look of tertiary education for Dominica. The existing water supply system was extended to accommodate the college and the storage tank added. The stock farm storage system was also extended to service the DSC. When the main structure was declared complete in July 2012, a ceremony took place to memorialize the occasion.
The new buildings will be equipped to accommodate 2,000 students at any one time, with an auditorium with a sitting capacity of 500 students, computer lab with 100 workstations, and with classrooms capable of seating between 30 to 140 students. There will be a building specifically equipped for the college agricultural program and state-of-the-art science labs, among other features of the new edifice.
2 years after those remarks, state college students are earning their degrees in comfort and style.
It's more relaxing for me because I step into a classroom and it's like just in a classroom setting. It's like classroom friendly, that kind of a thing. And I mean, I can sit down, I can actually learn, not because it's a new classroom, but it's more comfortable, it's larger, you know, more space, it's airy and more chairs.
It is no wonder government, specifically the education minister, considers the new DSC a feather in Dominica's development cap, with its capacity to produce the bulk of Dominica's college-educated graduates who will build a brighter future for the country.
It is a real blessing for the students to study here, and what is more important is that the government and Prime Minister Skerrit are committed to education of the people of Dominica. So they are doing what we can to provide you with the best facilities for learning here.
The Labour Party government has always made it clear that one of its missions is for at least one university graduate to come from every home on this island. And what are friends for if not to celebrate when the other is nearing his goal? Imagine a small island developing country, barely 36 years as an independent nation, home to only 69,000 people, but with at least one university graduate in every family.
So I feel very happy and encouraged to see the expansion project of the State College, which is a very good result of the cooperation between China and Dominica. I'm also very happy to see that the students will move into these new buildings very soon, and that the teachers will start to teach in these new facilities very soon. The smooth completion of this project is owed to the commitment of the leaders of the two countries and the support of the Dominican government in particular. We also owe the completion to the hard efforts by the workers of the Shanghai Construction Corporation. It is them that help you achieve the hope and dream that people in Dominica have cherished for years.
On that basis, the Education Minister sees this symbol of friendship as a sign that the next level is definitely achievable. Formerly an institution attended by a privileged few, the Dominica State College is not only available but capable of accommodating all who would seek knowledge.
Thanks to you for responding to our need to improve the learning environment for the young people of the Commonwealth of Dominica through this very generous loan facility. I would like to note here that we are also joining with the contractors in celebrating, because as we review the project, we realize that we are ahead of schedule in the construction phase, so we are extremely happy about that.
In January 2005, China's first ambassador to Dominica, Ye Dabo, on behalf of his government made a rather large donation to productivity. Among the gifts were a number of computers meant for improving learning at the Dominica State College.
This is another tangible demonstration that the Chinese government and the Chinese people are good friends of Dominican people. And I think we are very sincere in helping Dominica to develop its national economy and also to improve the life quality of Dominican people.
Upon receipt of these gifts, the nation's leader had this to say.
This donation totaled about $600,000 and includes over about 115 computers and other office stationaries and equipment. And these computers will be distributed to bulk of them to the State College and to some schools across the island and to also government departments, so as to improve access to and improve the efficiency at the government departments, but also to ensure that every child who attends the State College can have access to a computer. Recognize the importance of information technology and the coming on stream of the call centers in Dominica and the requirement, the need for us to further train our young people to ensure that we can supply the demands that have been placed on Dominica at this time with regards to the call center. This is a timely contribution. I know it is a first, and I have every reason to believe that they will see in the future such donations from the PRC.
The package also included sporting gear, air conditioning units, DVD players, digital cameras, electronic fencing, and radios. The Dominica Grammar School, established in 1893, is one of Dominica's oldest secondary schools and a veritable institution on this island. Several trailblazers of Dominica's development have passed through its doors, and it continues to groom hundreds more, literally hundreds. The school, originally designed to accommodate a few, was bursting at the seams decades later and lacking in facilities for the modern student. By March 2006, discussions between the PRC and Dominica subsequently resulted in an EC $2.5 million facility with 13 new classrooms. A year later, $3.5 million more was injected into Phase 2, a building technology lab, an auto mechanic lab, a maintenance workshop, an electrical workshop, an agricultural science lab, biology, chemistry and physics labs, a clothing and textile lab, a food and nutrition lab, and additional classrooms. In July 2013, the nation's leader affixed his signature to a financial agreement stipulating that a new Newtown primary school would be funded and constructed by the People's Republic of China. This was almost 1 year after the promise was made to residents of Newtown. The contracts were signed on October 9, 2013 for over $2 million. Approximately 12 comfortable classes with a library, science and art labs, principal's office, secretary's office, staff room, kitchen, a sick bay and washroom facilities will be housed in the 3-story structure. For even more comfortable access, an elevator will serve physically challenged students. While work presses on the new building, some students of the Newtown Primary School have been moved from the aged and deteriorated structure that was their school into the renovated facility previously used as the Teachers Training College in Bath Estate. Others are learning quite comfortably at the Fatima Church Hall while they wait. The PRC's ambassador to Dominica in December 2013, Wang Zonglai, got word that the Orion Academy in Bath Estate was introducing a Chinese language and teaching course into the school's curriculum. The then ambassador promptly mobilized his resources and was able to make a rather large donation of teaching and learning materials to the school.
Language is a bridge that connects us with a different culture. We in China study English since an early age. I learned to study English at about your age, since I was a student at a high school, about 13. And that enabled us to understand the English-speaking countries better. Since our two countries established diplomatic relations 10 years ago, our relations have developed well and our people-to-people exchange have been enlarged. I think to give the Dominican students a chance to study Chinese is very beneficial to the further development of the relations between China and Dominica.
Each educational institution in Dominica has bought into the goal to produce well-rounded students fit for national and international service.
As part of our vision and philosophy at Orion, to cater to the needs and interests of our students, we realize that in today's world, it is important and even necessary to teach and encourage our students to speak a range of languages. Languages that will help them to become international individuals. Individuals who are not limited in regards to where you go or where they go, what they can do, because they can only speak their native language or dialects. Individuals who can easily adapt into new cultures, who can communicate in various languages and interact with a wider cross-section of people.
The Chinese Embassy in Dominica has since pledged an annual award to the best course performer at the Academy. Still in education, an exceptional example of collaboration between two peoples is a donation of a year's worth of school supplies to 21 students of the Atkinson Primary School in August 2011. The assistance came from the China Railway Bureau Group 17, a construction company contracted by the PRC government for the Eo-Libla Highway and the China-Dominica Friendship Bridge projects. Speaking through interpreter, the company's project manager, Jinghua, told the young students and the parents that his company wanted to make its own contribution to the development of Dominicans as well.
After arrival here in Dominica, China Railway has done some research on the environment and the society, and what we would like to do is give some assistance, to different areas in the society. Some of you might be aware that we have already given sponsorship to a basketball team, the Dominica Amateur Basketball Team, and we have also given some assistance to the Warner Primary School, and now we have decided to give some assistance to the Atkinson Primary School. Okay. Our aim and priority here is to deliver a road, a good quality road, and also we would like to give assistance, in the society, and we also want the Dominican people to also have a better understanding of China Railway 17 Bureau Group Company Limited by giving them assistance.
Each student had been identified as needing assistance in achieving their primary school education.
Initially, we had announced that we will give 10 students a scholarship. However, we have included, or we have added one more student to that list, and the reason why is because Ms. Marina called and informed us that this student, the mother and father, they're unemployed, and also that the father is sick, so he's not able, to provide, for the house or for the household. So we have decided to give assistance to that one student. Hopefully one of the students, some of the students, after they've graduated from high school, will also get scholarships, to go to China to study. If you're ever there, then you can get in contact with Mr. Jing Hao.
The packages included the necessary textbooks for a year, 2 suits of uniforms, a school bag, and stationery supplies for each student. Although the gifts were valued at close to $500 each, for the parents and students, no doubt the gift was priceless. Marina Bazil is a teacher at the Atkinson Primary School and was instrumental in selecting the students in need of help.
I really appreciate that kind gesture from your company. And companies and organizations have donated school materials to our children, but they have never received full scholarships and so many scholarships. We are indeed happy. And that scholarship will go a great deal in helping the children in their academic performance. So I thank you very much and God bless you.
Speaking of youth development, a flagship symbol of friendship between the People's Republic of China and Dominica is the scores of students gaining access to university education in China at no cost to them. Knowing full well that the average Dominican parent is not able to foot the cost of university educations for their children, the government elected by the people to look out for their best interests is well known for doing just that. It is no secret that Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is perpetually seeking opportunities for Dominicans to further their knowledge and become useful professionals to their country. Using education as the foundation of a prosperous and peaceful nation is just one thing on which Dominica and China agree.
It's my first time to attend such a ceremony since I assumed the post in Dominica. I'm very excited to see so many vigorous faces with a zeal for knowledge which remind me of my childhood. Under proper guidance, youth are the hope of a nation and are the seeds of friendship. It's lucky for you to already have the guidance, which is from Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who has a profound knowledge of teaching and rose to the political arena first as Minister for Education. He holds true the vision that education is the key to a nation's development, which is also shared by the Chinese leaders, frequently expressed as the strategy to develop the country by relying on science and education.
Jai Benoit is currently president of the National Youth Council and a local economic development officer with the local government department of Dominica. The 28-year-old returned from studies in the People's Republic of China in 2012 with a first degree in environmental engineering.
I applied for the China scholarship in particular, really on advice and consultations with my friends as to the available options. And China really presented the best opportunity to open my mind much further than just within the Caribbean context. Also, I always had a deep interest in Chinese culture and Chinese language, so I thought it was a good opportunity to face that challenge and see if I could really learn the language and learn a little bit about the culture. Chinese cuisine is so vast, you get to appreciate a lot of different tastes, and really through dialogue with the Chinese people I was able to grasp the language much quicker than I anticipated and learn a lot more about the culture in a personal sense, really develop a true appreciation for Chinese people and their culture.
Jai feels that the opportunity to study with renowned instructors at one of the top schools in China is in fact a real privilege.
I remember when I was going to high school, the drive was towards Spanish and French. Everyone was telling me that you need to know Spanish, you need to know French for you to have that competitive edge. As China has emerged as the world's second largest economy, and we see that the superpowers of the world are doing the bulk of their trade with China, we as people from small island developing states in the Caribbean, in the Pacific and in the Ames region, we need to put ourselves ahead and be part of that global change. So we need to really get a chance to learn about China, learn the language and be able to partner with China on an economic and social level. So I think that this opportunity is ensuring that the youth of Dominica as a country can keep a par with the global geopolitical and geo-economic thrust. That is to explore new markets, to build new partnerships across seas and across distant regions. So I think it was a great level of foresight on the part of the government to establish this relationship and nurture it over the past 10 years.
Every year since 2004, applications have been invited from any Dominican wishing to pursue studies in China. Initially, the arrangement was that over a 6-year period, 5 students would be selected to further studies in China every year. To date, over 90 have gotten their wish. While Dominicans are generally healthy and happy, and local medical professionals are available and qualified, health issues often arise for which the Princess Margaret Hospital is ill-equipped. It is not uncommon for patients to be urgently airlifted to neighboring islands for advanced medical attention. It is also common knowledge that those bills begin in the tens of thousands of dollars. The average Dominican has long wished for a better way. When the Memorandum of Understanding was signed between the People's Republic of China and the Commonwealth of Dominica, the two countries agreed that a new Princess Margaret Hospital would dramatically improve life for Dominicans, both medically and financially.
Fellow Dominicans, public health is of utmost importance to this government. Minister Sabrich and his team in the Ministry of Health and at the Princess Margaret Hospital have done a tremendous job of maintaining a satisfactory level and quality of healthcare with minimum resources. Dominica is grateful for the efforts, but if we're to compete as a tourist and financial services destination, and if our people are to access the latest and highest level of professional healthcare, we have to carry the services offered at the Princess Margaret Hospital to the next level. Determined to make this a reality, I put forward proposals for improvements to the Princess Margaret Hospital to the government of the People's Republic of China for consideration. I am pleased to announce that a key component of the economic assistance package to Dominica is a thorough refurbishment and upgrade of the Princess Margaret Hospital, with provision for several state-of-the-art procedures and facilities, which unfortunately we currently have little or no access to, or which are archaic in the operation.
In July 2013, the Prime Minister signed, on behalf of the government, the Technical Cooperation Agreement specific to the Princess Margaret Hospital. Now, several steps later, Chinese technicians have visited and assessed the operations at the existing PMH, the last team in September 2013, and construction plans have been presented, reviewed and adjusted to the satisfaction of government. The Prime Minister's comments on viewing the plans were of excited anticipation, stating that by the end of work, Dominica will own the most modern facility in the OECS. While work goes on behind the scenes on a new hospital for the nation, healthcare professionals are undergoing necessary specialization training, while several medical specialists have already been attached to the PMH. To complement the medical upgrades, new equipment has also been sourced. In addition to government's own state-of-the-art purchases, the Chinese government has also contributed to the new look with new top-notch medical equipment, over $2 million worth. Before too long, sudden and urgent airlifts to foreign countries will be a thing of the past for Dominicans, and residents of regional countries may flock to this island for advanced medical attention. When government came into office in 2005, it quickly became clear that the living conditions of a large section of the population were substandard. The Labour Party administration promptly rolled out its program designed to revolutionize housing for nationals. The Chinese government got on board with that initiative, pledging to contribute 40 houses, specifically to the Kalinago community. Marcel Bruni is one of those recipients. In January 2014, he was waiting patiently in a dilapidated wooden structure in Crayfish River, his home for 40 years.
C'est un problème pour moi.
Marcel now lives in a 28 by 20 two-bedroom house and appreciates it every day. In Point Salibia, Javans and Tiwani Burton have been married for 59 years and have now found comfort in their old age.
We are very happy and thankful for what the government do for us. We had an old house down there, but it wasn't good. So we get that house. I'm very thankful. I have water. I can walk myself. I can go far. When I have to go to the doctor, transport come right there for me. So it's really, really a privilege for me. I'm so happy. I can be more happy than that. True. So true. We have light, I have baby inside, I have my bathroom inside, I have my toilet inside, my kitchen, my sink. It's not a problem. Yes, so I'm very, very thankful.
In Bath Estates and neighboring Ems Hall, government has embarked on low-cost housing for low-income families. The project incorporates the construction of 36 apartment units at Ems Hall and 24 at Bath Estate, with provisions for proper landscaping and access roads. The Prime Minister says the decision to construct those apartment buildings came from discussions with low-income families who are struggling to make ends meet, burdened with high rent for small apartments. The 2- and 3-bedroom apartments are being made possible through a soft loan from the People's Republic of China. The older generations of Dominicans looking on at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium may have a hard time reconciling the gleaming, towering arches of the present with the overgrown weeds of the past. In 1999, a national stadium was promised for the Windsor Park, but after demolition of the existing stands, buildings, and 2 schools near the property, the project was abandoned and the site deserted.
The rehabilitation of Windsor Park has been talked about for many years. The site as is not only an eyesore to residents and visitors, but also a source of shame and embarrassment. I am pleased to announce that our dream of that project coming to fruition is now reality. Construction of the new Windsor Park Cultural and Recreational Stadium will commence before independence of this year. The agreement with the People's Republic of China provides for mobilization efforts to begin within 90 days. However, the more I think about it, and the more I consult you, the people, about your dreams and aspirations for this landmark project, is the more I think that we need to revise our whole concept of what this facility ought to be. I believe that Windsor Park can become the premier sporting, cultural and recreational facility not only in Dominica and the Windsor Islands, but also in the Eastern Caribbean. I have therefore invited a technical team from the People's Republic of China to visit Dominica as a matter of urgency to interact with our local architects, engineers and builders with a view to assisting in the creation of a 100% Dominican concept that would have all the features and characteristics of a world-class facility.
Following the establishment of diplomatic relations between the PRC and Dominica, real work commenced on what is today the EC $40 million Windsor Park Sports Stadium. 1 month after the task was complete in early 2007, the facility was handed over to the Dominican people at no cost. The stadium is of International Cricket Council standard with the ability to accommodate 12,000 people. It also offers a media center, private boxes, practice nets, a players' complex, digital scoreboards, and 5 cricket pitches. In the Prime Minister's address on the official start of construction, he said, quote, "This stadium will stand as a symbol of the relations between our peoples and will be a source of national pride and development. I thank you warmly, Your Excellency, on behalf of the people of Dominica, the people of Roseau and its environs, for the speed and determination that you applied to the implementation of this project. We are satisfied with your desire and willingness to construct the facility, which for generations to come will symbolize the hopes and aspirations of our people and will deepen and cement our relationship. I have no doubt that in the years to come, we will look back on this with pride and dignity." End of quote. Another result of the relationship between Dominica and the PRC is appreciated every day by commuters to the north. The Iole-Bla Highway, also known as the West Coast Road, is a $100 million indicator of productive partnership between the two countries. When ground was symbolically broken on February 26, 2010, that marked the end of 3 years of negotiation between the two leaders concerning the West Coast Road. Undertaken by China Railway 17 Group Company Limited, 45 kilometers of road was rebuilt from Hanover Street in Roseau to Borough Square in Portsmouth, complete with over 260 road signs and markings, as well as bus shelters.
Realignment of the existing S-bend at Rubridge Bay with a much improved alignment. Shifting of the existing road under the Kenfield Cliff further westwards towards the existing sea defense wall. Realignment of the S-bend on approaching the village of Taru from the south with a much improved straighter alignment. Construction of over 1.6 kilometers of sea defense protections at Taru and Pulliver Street. Construction of a new large box culvert on approaching Picard to reinstate this failed section of road. Excavation works will be undertaken along the route to ensure improved line of sight, road width, and safety. The entire road section will see significant improvements in drainage structures with replacement of several culvert structures and side drains. Road safety will be significantly improved with the placement of over 5,045 meters of guardrails and replacement of damaged railings along existing bridges.
And the list went on. At the time of discussions on the largest road project that Dominica has ever seen, government had to think outside of the box due to a painful financial and socio-economic reality when the Roosevelt-Skerrit government came into office in 2005.
When Prime Minister Roosevelt-Skerrit from Vegas, the Hassel was for it, took the decisive and smart move to enter into diplomatic relations with one of the biggest economies in the world, the People's Republic of China. He was criticized, but by whom? By hucksters of his disinformation and those with a cynical view of the future of his country. Ladies and gentlemen, friends all, today we are witnessing the launching of the single biggest road project in the history of Dominica. Isn't that significant? I want to say thank you in a special, in a big way, for the whole world to hear. Thank you to the People's Republic of China.
What stood out to the nation's leader at that time was the willingness of China to cement bilateral ties with Dominica by pressing forward with the West Coast Road project during financially testing times. And in the time between the establishment of the partnership and the commencement of the project, the Dominican people stood by their leader.
I want to thank also all the Dominican people who trusted the judgment of the Prime Minister of Dominica in 2004 when he decided to establish relations with China. Dominica must continue to lead in its efforts and not always be a follower. And in that regard, Dominica was certainly a leader by signing the relationship with China.
Today, the West Coast Road has shortened the travel time to and from the second town, and users now enjoy the scenic drive along the island's west coast via a road idolized as a hallmark of quality. On the subject of quality, Dominicans' hearts swell with national pride when their route takes them along Victoria Street past the majestic $27 million State House. Whether viewing from the sea or one of the numerous hills sheltering the city from the east, the structure sprawls across a property measuring close to 4 acres. The original State House was built in the 1700s by the British government, and the last major renovations were done close to 35 years ago due to damage from Hurricane David. Work on Dominica's State House commenced in May 2011, spearheaded by the Shanghai Construction Company. Overall, the project comprises 2 jobs: the full renovation of the old State House and the construction of the new one. In addition to the President's residence, the Electoral Commission and the Police Service Commission, the Integrity in Public Office Commission will also be housed on the compound.
We wanted our client in the Dominica government will be happy, so we will do make sure that the older State House is the perfect project.
And perfect it is in its resplendent ivory, speaking in loud tones of Dominica's national pride and spirit of friendship. National security tops the priority list for every sovereign nation, regardless of its size or population. Some of Dominica's appeal is derived from its peacefulness and low crime rate. Although the PRC is several times larger than Dominica in more ways than one, the latter's national security is just as important to China. This was evidenced when 90 police motorcycles were donated to the Ministry of National Security in November 2013.
I totally agree with you, Your Honorable. You rightly point out that security is on high agenda for each country. It's my opinion that security is extremely important for this island, for this nature island, because it's a destination for tourists all over the world, including Chinese people.
The donation led to increased and improved patrols across the island, ensuring the safety and security of residents. The Dominica Police Force has also been supported with formal communication language skills in Chinese Mandarin. Agriculture has always been a major income earner for Dominica, and as such enjoys high placement on government's priority list. This is why agriculture has always been a fixture in bilateral talks between Dominica and China, and much has been done for its advancement. Several Dominicans have been attached to agriculture institutions in China to enhance their knowledge and training. In the early years of bilateral relations, the result was the Hillsborough Horticulture Center, designed for training, research, and demonstration. Almost 5 years after the Horticulture Center was opened, floodwaters completely destroyed the center and the progress made. 3 years later, the EC $2 million Dominica China Modern Agriculture Center in Portsmouth was opened as a newer version of the Hillsborough Center. The center serves as a training and demonstration place for farmers as well as a propagation area for plants. There, farmers are encouraged in organic farming and are guided in the use of new equipment and technology. Over the years, a Chinese presence has been maintained in Dominica for cooperation in agriculture, and currently a Chinese agricultural mission to Dominica operates on the island based at the 1 Mile Center. From there, new varieties of flowers, vegetables, and fruits are introduced to farmers. Those include Chinese cucumbers, string beans, broccoli, and varieties of tomatoes. The new center features 7 greenhouses in addition to a smart greenhouse where gardening variables including temperature, humidity, and sunlight are controlled. In April 2011, a place of safety opened its doors to about 30 children who had been victims of psychological, physical, or sexual abuse. The government of Dominica collaborated with a UK-based children's charity to open the $3.9 million facility in Jimmet for abused and abandoned children. At the opening, Prime Minister Skerrit said, quote, "The greatest of a nation is to be judged not by the number of millionaires it generates, important as it is, but by the care it provides to vulnerable, disadvantaged, and abused citizens." End of quote. By November 2013, 89 children had passed through the doors of Chances. When Chances was opened, a large cross-section of society lauded the achievement, recognizing a step in the right direction. Part of that cross-section, the Chinese community in Dominica, was impressed by the administrator's willingness to operate like a typical family home to heal hurt children. More than being impressed, the Chinese embassy in Dominica, in a bid to ensure the continuity of services at Chances, made a $5,000 donation just in time for Christmas.
We regard ourselves, the embassy ourselves, as a member of the society too, and we like to make our contribution to Chances this year, and I hope that we can communicate more in the future in the way of looking after the children. You see, the Chinese government always pays very importance to the welfare of the children, and Chinese government issued quite a lot of laws to improve the situation or the protection of the welfare of the children. And I think we have a lot of common understandings, and in these fields we have a lot to share with each other. I think for the experiences we even can learn from you.
Oh yes,
yes. And it's my honor to pass this to you, since Christmas is coming, and we hope that the children in the Chances will have a very happy Christmas day. And I hope in the future they can grow well, healthy, mentally and psychologically, and they can be a useful person to the nation.
In the middle of May 2013, the Chinese government responded positively to the Invest Dominica Authority's request for financial support for sewing groups in rural communities. Represented by then Ambassador Wang Zonglai, the PRC provided funding for the acquisition of 15 sewing machines for several reasons, including cooperation with the government of Dominica in job creation and community empowerment. 5 community sewing groups were the initial recipients of the machines, providing employment for at least 50 individuals in Bagatelle, Boitica, Calibishi, and La Plaine. In an article published in the Sun newspaper dated September 9, 2013, Ambassador Wang reflected on his observations 3 years into his tenure in Dominica. He affirmed that a commonality between his country and Dominica's is a love for work. He explained further that in the past 30 years, billions of Chinese people got rid of poverty and became better off by working hard. China's prosperity he attributes to hard work. At the human resource development level, between 800 and 900 Dominican professionals from both the public and private sectors have benefited from Chinese-sponsored training opportunities and have visited the People's Republic of China for that purpose. Additionally, several economic and technical cooperation agreements have been signed for the furtherance of Dominica's causes. More recently, in December 2013, for $8.2 million in grant aid.
And we have seen the greatest number of Dominicans visiting China for various training seminars. And in the next 10 years, I believe almost every single Dominican will have visited China, based on the number who have visited thus far, for various forms of training, all sponsored by the government of the People's Republic of China.
The People's Republic of China has maintained a development presence in the Caribbean for decades. Every 3 or 4 years, the China-Caribbean Economic and Trade Cooperation Forum is held to discuss cooperation between China and the Caribbean. In an interview with GIS News in August 2011, then Ambassador Wang Zonglai told Mervyn Paul, quote, "There is no reason to doubt China's cooperation with the Caribbean region. China is one of the Caribbean's development partners," end of quote.
There is no greater sense of security and accomplishment than knowing that there is someone most capable, looking out for you, and is ready at a moment's notice to assist or lend a helping hand, however they can. In Dominica today, the People's Republic of China is not very vocal, is hardly visible, but yet is always among the first to lend us a helping hand in times of adversity. Whether it's a natural disaster, a shortfall in resources, a humanitarian need, or a gesture to improve the natural or creative beauty of our island, the People's Republic of China can always be counted on to stand shoulder to shoulder in solidarity with Dominica and its citizens. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the hallmark of true and genuine friendship.
More than just friendship or diplomacy, the Prime Minister revels in the genuineness of China's attention.
Of equal importance is the fact that it never asks for anything in return. With China, there is no fine writing. There is no catch. There is no hidden agenda. If the People's Republic of China considers a cause worthy of its support that cause, period, full stop.
During the course of the decade-long friendship, the two countries have rejoiced over victories together.
Let me, first of all, on behalf of the government and people of Dominica, extend our heartfelt congratulations to the government and people of the People's Republic of China on what is for them a very important day, the celebration of their founding. China has had a very long history and also equal contribution to the world and humanity. Let me, Ambassador, extend our fervent congratulations also to your government and its people for your recent success in launching a space shuttle to space. This no doubt is a major achievement for a developing country, and for any developing country to have achieved such feat is worth noting and mentioning.
And sympathized with each other.
I'd like to take this opportunity to express our wholehearted appreciation to the government and the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica for their deep condolences and warm encouragement for the Chinese people at the very time of need.
On the departure of the PRC's third ambassador to Dominica, Prime Minister Skerritt said that His Excellency Wang, whom he referred to as a dear friend, served Dominica as he did his own country.
The ambassador has served Dominica, of course, has served his country here in Dominica with distinction. I almost said he served Dominica, and in fact this is actually true because he has been of extraordinary help to us in advancing the bilateral relations between Dominica and China, and also critically advancing some of the programs and projects and agreements which have been entered into between Dominica and China. And oftentimes, I am sure, as I know, his country would ask him whether he is Dominica's ambassador or the Chinese ambassador in Dominica, because of the efforts he plays in promoting and seeking assistance for Dominica's economic and social development.
When Ambassador Wang arrived in Dominica in December 2011, he was welcomed by Honorable Alvin Bernard, who had hoped then that the new ambassador's stay would come to have personal meaning to him. 2 years later, an emotional Ambassador Wang responded that his life in Dominica would be impossible to forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have spent almost 3 years together. At this moment, to say goodbye, I have many complicated feelings. The first feeling is that I love the nature island. The nature island is such a charming place that I fell in love with it when I put on it for the first time. I love the mountains and the rivers. I love the meadows and the wood, and I love the sky and the clouds. Let me tell you a little secret. When I sorted out the files in my computer, I found out that I have already saved dozens of gigabytes of pictures of your beautiful country and your people.
The Voice of China in Dominica Now in 2014, Ambassador Li Jiangning, on the occasion of the 10-year anniversary of the relationship, indicated that this friendship means as much to China as it does to Dominica.
Our two countries made a decision that set our relationship on a new journey that has built a strong friendship between our two nations who are very different and very far apart, a new journey that has opened the door to a wide range of exchanges and cooperation, a new journey that has brought tangible benefits to our two countries and peoples, a new journey that's both steady and quick-paced, that can be seen with good reason as 10 times longer and maturer. Allow me to express my sincere gratitude to all of you who have cared for, nurtured, and supported this relationship over the past 10 years. Thank you all very much.
Like friends, each country shares in events important to the other. Dominica rejoices in China's anniversaries, most recently the 64th in 2013, and in China, Dominica's Independence Day is a major annual affair. A reminder that the two countries are more than development partners is the $8 million China-Dominica Friendship Bridge, formally opened in December 2012. The 67-meter bridge helps alleviate traffic congestion between Hanover Street and Elliott Avenue, but is as symbolic as it is functional. When the ribbon was cut, in essence embracing the gesture of friendship, Dominicans celebrated with shouts of ownership, claiming the bridge, welcoming China as a friend. The proof of a true friendship between Dominica and the PRC can not only be witnessed throughout the length and breadth of this island, but someplace bigger in the hearts and minds of Dominican people.
It's a totally separate thing for the citizens of a country to identify with the citizens of another. And that's why I think you can really see that our partnership is true. The way that the Chinese people can come to Dominica and feel welcome, the way that we as international students and as government officials, government officers who receive training can go to China and interface with Chinese people, develop friendships, and I'm aware of students that have returned and invited some of their Chinese friends to Dominica. So I would agree, and I think that This is one of the reasons why our relationship with China is so strong and has blossomed so quickly, is because the partnership is indeed genuine and not just political or oriented around developmental aid.
On the anniversary of the 10-year relationship in March 2014, the Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, stated,
I could easily adumbrate the visible, the tangible, and measurable benefits derived by Dominica as a result of that decision. But as much as we cherish tangibles such as the Windsor Park Stadium, the Eo-Libla Highway, the State College, and low-cost housing at Baffin State and the Carib Territory, and while we look forward with eager anticipation to the construction of the new National Hospital, the construction of the new Newtown Primary School, the construction of the new bridge at York Valley, and relocation of displaced families on the west coast of Dominica, none of these overwhelmingly influences the contentment I have with the depth of our relations. My appreciation for the friendship that has been forged is not influenced by that which can be seen or measured. Rather, it is built on the knowledge of knowing that China is there, always there for Dominica.
Congratulations to the Commonwealth of Dominica and the People's Republic of China on a decade of friendship.